Hello everybody and welcome to Wesley's Plant World with me, Wesley Peterson, and today I am standing out in the area of my garden called the Botanical Garden in the middle of this snowy weather with my snowball natural hairstyle. Loving the weather. It's actually around -6 at the moment today, but it has been down to -14 degrees. Now, I love evergreen plants and I've been out and bought myself four more plants that I want to show you today, and they are going to do fantastic in my garden because in the area I live in, the natural plants that grow here are Picea abies, the Norway spruce, and then Pinus contorta and Pinus sylvestris, two different types of pine, the lodgepole pine and the Scots pine. Well, these plants that I'm going to show you are going to mix and mingle in with these types of plants here fantastically, because on the bench behind me I have my 4 plants. I'm going to bring one at a time forward to show you it and to show you there are differences between spruce and fir trees, and I also have myself a hemlock. So let's get back here and have a look at what we have. I'm going to take one of the biggest ones first because I want to be able to put it on the floor in front of me when I'm finished. Now, they're quite heavy and they're still tied up in this bundle of netting, so I'm going to get that off. I did get myself a pair of scissors somewhere here. Yes, I have a pair here. So I've got my scissors, so I'm going to untie this plant straight away and we can get in and have a closer look at it, because this is one that I've actually wanted for a while because it's absolutely beautiful and it gets lovely blue pine cones on it when it matures. Probably anything from 7 to 10 years it'll start getting those, but maybe if I'm lucky it'll get them earlier, we'll see. But get this netting off first, which is a bit of a hard thing to do. Oh, it's coming off all over the place. And I don't want this left lying around in my garden, and it's going to be hard to see it in all the snow. But I'm getting there. Yes, off you come. Off you come. Okay, so now I have my first tree here, and it's all wrapped in plastic around its pot as well. Let's put this netting to the side here. So, and I also want to take the tag off because this tag actually doesn't say anything about what the plant is, so I don't need those left on there either. Tags off, please, so I can show the plant. There, put all this to the side. So my first beautiful plant I want to show you here is a beautiful fir. This is Abies coreana, the Korean fir, and this gets lovely, well, at the moment I can see white powdery substance on the end of its new growth buds that will come out in the springtime. It has a green sheen with a slight bluey sheen underneath its needles, and well, it's a lovely compact plant, as you can see here. This is a plant that can get quite tall, and I'll put all the details of all of these plants up on the screen next to me so you can see exactly everything you need to know about this plant to put it in your garden. But basically I just want to give you a closer look at what it looks like because it's gorgeous, and even though it's heavy, I'm going to get it up to the camera. So look at this plant. Can you see the top there? And can you see the lovely sheen of blue underneath the needles? This is the beautiful Abies coreana. Absolutely lovely bush. I'm going to have this in my west side garden where it can grow out as a specimen plant, and I'll get to see all the lovely blue pine cones that come out later on when it's grown out. So that was my first lovely fir tree that I wanted to show you. So let's put this down, on the floor. Oh, if it wants to stand up. There we go. Oh, actually it's going to be in the way, isn't it? It's too tall to be able to show you the other plants. Let's put this over here on the side. Right, so now I've got my Abies coreana here standing up. Now I'm ready to get the next one. So the next one I want to show you, well, this time I'm going to take something a little bit, another bigger one actually. This one here. Ooh. Get this one over here, and I'll just quickly get the netting off. in fast forward here. So this time I have a darker green fir tree. And this one to me doesn't have the bluish sheen the same as the Korean fir there underneath the leaves. It is slightly light green under the leaves, but it's got a lovely dark rich colour on its needles. The needles are much bigger and thicker, and both the bushes are quite soft to the touch. Now this one here is called Abies Nordmanniana, and this is the Nordmann fir. This is also another tree that can get mighty, mighty tall. Once again, I'll put all the details here up on the side for you to see. A lovely green colour. I'm thinking of putting this out on the edge of my grounds in my woodland area where it can grow out to its full potential. Or I might put it behind me over there in front of my house and watch it grow out so it looks like a big tall bushy Christmas tree growing outside of my window. I'll have to decide. But let me bring this in so you can have a closer look at this one as well, because it is quite different from the last fir I just showed you. It has a snap branch down here. I'll have to fix that later. So there we go, there's the top. And look how rich and dark this one is. Absolutely lovely, thick, soft needles on it. A lovely, lovely tree. And it may look small now in my hands, but this is going to grow out to be a beast, and we'll be able to come back and look at this video in a few years' time to see just how tall this plant has got. The beautiful Abies Nordmanniana. Now, let me get my third one. Oh! So he can go there for a minute. So now I might as well bring my last two plants forward, because these ones are quite different, and I might as well put them here so that we can look at them one at a time in a moment. First of all, I'll get all of the netting off this one here. So again here I have two more very different styles to show you, and this just pleased me so much now in the snowfall in the garden, seeing this lovely green and knowing that this is going to be like this all year round, every single year for me in my garden. I have one here that I think is quite fantastic and quite special. This one is called Tuga canadensis. And this is a lovely hemlock that can also get into quite a tall tree and quite bushy. So again, all of the details are here up on the side about this plant, but this gets much more feathery, wavy like branches that can get long and hang out to the sides and droop down and look absolutely majestic. Much shorter needles than the firs and the spruces. And they're not too taggy, slightly, but you know, they're okay to the touch, even though I have gloves on. But have a look at this one closer too. There you go, you can see the needles are much shorter and the branches drape over more. And you can see that this has a very tall top coming out, so it's going to grow out and bush out very nicely in my garden. This is the beautiful Tuga canadensis, and it is lovely. Now, I'm sure this is going to be one that the deer are going to love to munch on in my garden and absolutely ruin. So I'm going to have to make sure that I protect it or put it somewhere where it can grow out in its full potential, uninhibited. So now let me get on with my fourth plant, because it's starting to snow quite a lot and I need to get inside and get myself a lovely hot cup of tea in a moment. So the little bundle I have here is absolutely beautiful, and this is the only one that I have that is a spruce. This is the Serbian spruce, and it has shorter, much shorter needles than the firs that I've showed you here, and much thinner needles than the hemlock I've just shown you. They're much more bluer in their texture, so they're a greeny blue colour. And this tree can get very tall as well. The difference between this tree and, for example, in my garden, the Picea abies, the Norway spruce, is that this plant won't get too wide. It actually grows up quite tall and narrow. Even though it does spread, it can spread a couple of meters, but it's not going to be enormously wide. And the branches, they hang out like candelabras, and it really gets this beautiful look. And well, I can't wait to find a spot for this to grow out and look gorgeous. So I'm going to bring it in so that you can have a look at what it looks like. I am just really enjoying being out in the snow right now. I'm not at all cold. It's wonderful. So here we go. This is my beautiful Serbian spruce. And there you can see the bluey tone on the needles. So it is very different from the other plants I've just shown you. And more green on top, but still this greeny bluey glow, and you can see this is growing quite narrow and compact. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this forms out the more it grows up. So these plants all need to have spots where they can grow up to their fullest potential, because I want to have a collection garden of these type of evergreen plants that I know the deer are not going to go in and eat up and munch up very quickly. These spiky spruces, they don't touch those. I'm hoping they're not going to touch the fir trees. I haven't had any fir trees in my garden until now, so this is an experiment to see if they will munch those because they're softer, but I doubt it. And then we'll see about the hemlock. But this is also gorgeous, and you can really see there's a difference between all of them. So now I want to take you for a quick tour around in my garden so you can see some of the other evergreens that I have going on at this time of year. So this is a little mini tour, January 2024, of just some of the evergreen plants in my garden. Let's go. So I wanted to start here on my terrace. Look here, my lovely blue spruce growing down here, my Picea pungens. And then we can look around at the top of what's going on here, spread out in the snow, but they actually don't snap because this happens every year, and they manage to bounce back into position as lovely tall blue bushes. And then in the distance there you can see my Thea occidentalis brabants, and right in the far distance one of my tallest Picea abs, the lovely Norway spruce. And in the foreground in the middle now you can see my beautiful Pinus sylvestris. So now I'm down in the garden. I have a little arrangement of evergreens here. Down at the front I have a Boxer sempervirens completely covered in snow. Copes very well with that. And in the middle here I have a Taxus. And on the left this is a Picea abs, Norway spruce. And then at the back here on the right, that is the Picea pungens, my blue spruce. So if we get closer, you can see how well they do in snowy situations. Look at the blue spruce. You can't see any of the blue, but if we get in here, you can see some of it merging through the snow. Isn't that just gorgeous? Oh, I love this tree. This tree has been in my garden for 4 years now, and it was only around 90 centimeters tall, and it has just quadrupled in that time. Absolutely beautiful. So if we go further into my garden here, we can go right down to the back here. And I want to show you some more plants here. Here, I also have a lovely plant. It's not an evergreen plant, but its stems stay green. So this is a broom, and it's a perfect winter interest plant. And then here, the Boxus sempervirens rotundifolio. And then in the middle here, I have a dwarf pine growing out. Lovely. And we'll go over to the far side of my garden here. This is Joachim's Corner. Now here I have a lot of different things as well. You can see the Thuja occidentalis Brabant in the middle there. At the front I have my rhododendrons, looking great. And then look here in the middle, this is my Araucaria araucana, the monkey puzzle tree, covered in snow and has also been in my garden around 4 years. And this year was the first year it started to grow out more on the top, but it's definitely spread out more its branches every single year. And behind that I have a Viburnum rhytidophyllum, the leather-leafed viburnum, doing absolutely fantastic there. And in the background again, more Thuja occidentalis Brabant. We can swing a little bit round to my left and you will see Picea abies, Thuja occidentalis Brabant, rhododendrons, doing really well together. Swing more around here. Down here, there is Vinca minor, myrtle, doing absolutely fantastic. And then I have some stunning holly down here. Ilex, absolutely beautiful. Look at those. And more rhododendron, doing well. And then I have a Juniperus communis growing out here. This Juniperus communis is doing very well. Look at that. Beautiful. Here is my variegated rhododendron. So I want to pan around. There's a lot more evergreen plants going on here. We'll go around the front. Look at my table, covered in snow. Now here, I have a lovely blue fir. Look at this beautiful blue fir. Just gorgeous. Look at that in the snow. Oh, I do love this. And this gets lovely red cones on it every year. So I'm keeping it staked up because I want it to get taller, because otherwise it will just lay out and spread on the ground. Absolutely beautiful. So behind that, I have my Juniperus chinensis stricta that I've pruned up. And next to that is Prunus laricerosis caucasica. And I have these plants alternating apart from the Picea abies in the middle there. So that carries on along the edge here. And then here I have another Picea pungens, completely covered in snow. Absolutely beautiful. So lots and lots of evergreen plants going on in my garden here. There's my annex there. And even these beautiful Cornus alba siberica with their lovely red stems, this red dogwood, is a gorgeous winter focal plant. Look at that. Absolutely lovely. And I do love my Picea abies here. Norway spruce that I have been pruning out. And then these are some of my largest Thuja occidentalis Brabant. And then in the background, in between those at the top, that is one of my Pinus sylvestris. And then as we go down here, I have this plant that's spreading out on the ground, but it will lift up again. This is Prunus laricerosis etna. And then next to that, Ilex mesavae blueprints, the holly bush, looking absolutely stunning. And here I have more. This is a beautiful Pinus mugo, and you can see it in contrast to my cottage here. Absolutely fantastic. I do love this bush. Look at it close up. All ready for the next season with all its buds. It's just gorgeous. And it gets lovely cones on it. Look at that. A lovely plant. Down here I have another juniper hiding in the snow. Here another pine. And then in the background, lots of Picea abies, Thuja occidentalis Brabant, and Elwoodii, and so these are my jumbo bamboo that I made a video on when I made my bamboo forest video. You can go back and see how I planted out this, but these are how they're all doing during the winter. Absolutely fine. Evergreen, growing out amazingly. Along the edge here, all the way around where I planted them, and doing really well. Look at that. There you go, they're lovely and evergreen. And doing fine. And then here, the tall bush in the middle, this is Thuja occidentalis Smørgbrad. Doing well too. And then again all my Thuja occidentalis Brabant along the edge of the garden. There we go, all the way around. There's lots of lovely evergreen winter interest in my garden, and there will be a lot more coming because I just love them. So we'll carry on. And we will go through the botanical garden here, admiring the lovely Thuja occidentalis Brabant and my Picea abies on the left, and we'll go through courtyard garden, and on the way we can see a lovely rhododendron down here. Anybody want to go out and do some sunbathing? Rhododendron, doing well in the snow. Look, and then you can see at the front of our cottage, these doing well. And then on the right hand side of our cottage, you can see the Thuja occidentalis on the corner there that I keep pruned. And in this border, a mixture of all sorts. Here's a lovely taxus again, growing out. And then my beautiful pinus, my pine tree here. Oh, it's beautiful. I do love that pine tree. So down here, my rockery, on the right hand side of our Crystal Drive in Silverway, I have another evergreen bush poking up through all the snow here. This is actually quite a big bush, but it's nearly hidden. So that's quite interesting, but it's absolutely fine. So let's go in to Silverway and see what we have down here. This is a Picea abies that I pruned down, and I'm growing it as a low bush. You can do that with those, that works. I did a video just a couple of months ago where I planted out all of these rhododendrons in my Silverway part of my garden, and they're all doing well. You can see here, those are the Cunningham's white. The smaller ones that I planted are hidden in the snow at the bottom, but they're still fine. And then you can see here a little bit of the Phylostachys nigrum bamboo, and the bamboo at the back here that I planted out, still doing great. So this area in front of me is called the Triangle Garden, and here there are Picea abies and rhododendron that I also did a video on when I planted out, doing absolutely fabulous here. And there's a variegated holly in the middle. And here you can see some of my tallest Picea abies growing out. Look how tall they are. Fantastic. They must be around 15 meters tall. I have one on the edge of my property here. And here, out in the Crystal Woods area, is where I've been excavating. And I've cut down a lot of trees in the centre here so that I can plant out evergreens in all of this area, because as you can see, it looks bare. And I don't want bareness all winter. What I want is green. As we turn around to the right, you can see all these lovely Picea abies growing out. I want this kind of green with different types of plants growing in the whole of this area. So this is the plan. So this is a work in process still, but it's working out pretty well. I've got my pathways and my borders worked out. Here is my kind of bonsai Picea abies growing out to the side. Lovely there, love that. Here you can see a couple of bamboos growing on the edge of my property. If we go up, you can see my neighbour's annex there. There are some more bamboos and they're doing really well during the winter here. So here, in the middle of my Crystal Woods area, all of the fantastic Picea abies giving this lovely green structure for the winter. There are some of the thicker, tallest ones we have at the back here. Oh, I love that. So I can't wait to get planted out in this whole area. Ooh. I really can't. Towards the left. All of this. Beautiful trees. So now I want to take you into a gap here because I have some bamboo growing that I'm really happy about. And it's growing in an area that fills with water. As you can see, it's completely frozen. But this is a bamboo that's going to get enormous. And I really didn't think it was going to work out here, but it has. I got some roots and I just put them in here. And they've started shooting up last summer. So this summer I'm expecting them to be able to reach a metre or two, but these are a bamboo that can get to around 8 metres tall. So they are growing there, and they are growing there. And because it's always moist, I know they're going to be able to do fantastically because they do like a lot of moisture. And that's why I planted them in these holes here specifically, knowing that they would fill with water to keep these plants happy. But they are surviving this minus 14 degrees during the winter absolutely fine, and they're nestled in amongst some Picea abies I have growing here. Here in the snow you can see all the deer tracks of all the deer that roam around my garden searching for any piece of bark that they can rip off. But actually it hasn't been too bad so far this year. So now I'm under one of our tallest Picea abies here. Look at this. Absolutely gorgeous. A tree that's around 15-20 meters tall. Maybe even taller than that actually. Another one on the left. And here you can see our crystal cottage and our annex through the wild orchard garden. And down here are the beautiful lingonberries, 100% evergreen and look fantastic. They are completely covered, but there's a ring of them down here. But they're very, very happy during winter time. What a beautiful pop of colour. Now I have a beautiful hibba down here. Look at this. Doing beautiful in the snow. And another viburnum rhytidophyllum behind. And here in my inner garden, the gorgeous Thuja occidentalis bush I have growing. Fantastic all year round. And in the border here that I worked on as well earlier this year, where I planted out these boxwoods, still growing out here. Under this bench, a couple of lovely yellow coloured bushes. Very lovely. More of these Prunus laricerasus that I've planted out to grow along the edge here. Thuja occidentalis Brabant. Picea abies that I've topped and have to top every year to keep them lower. They just want to grow out more and more and more. Ones that I've pruned thin as a hedge here. You can do so many things with them. They are fabulous. And then back here with more of my lovely juniperous bushes. This one that's growing quite tall here. Lovely. And then a lovely rhododendron that gets lovely dark red flowers on it growing here, completely covered in snow. And then another juniperous here. And down here, another Prunus laracerosus. Absolutely fantastic. So I really hope you enjoyed the tour of some of my plants going on in my garden here. And well, now you understand why I want more of these gorgeous, beautiful evergreen plants plotted around in my garden. And I have so much expanse to work on in my Crystal Woods area and all the different gardens I have going on there that it's going to be amazing in the future. I need to put a whole evergreen laurel bush along the edge of my grounds there. It's all open, not much going on right now, but it's going to be amazing. And I really don't mind taking the time to do all this, because for me, it's the whole process and the changes and the different things I do and all the beautiful plants that I can collect in my garden. I have hundreds on my Excel list of plants now, and it's just growing. And it just shows that even here where I live, where we can get temperatures of down to probably now, well, the coldest has been -14 the last couple of years, but when I first bought this cottage 8 years ago, it got down to -20 degrees. And there are so many plants you can use in the garden in these kind of temperatures. So I just wanted to show off a couple more of those today. So have fun out there in your snowy gardens or your sunshine gardens, because I know there are many places around in the world now where you're laying in the sun. But I actually love the seasons, and I love the winter here just as much as I love the summer, because who couldn't love looking at a white snowy wonderland like this? When I wake up in the morning and I open the curtains, it's always a surprise. Either everything could have melted away, or it can be thick snow, or I can have deer running around and all sorts happening. And I love seeing all the different varieties of birds that we have that come to the bird feeders. I've counted so many different species, it's unbelievable. And it's so much fun seeing the wildlife all summer and all winter. So anyway, all I have to say now is thank you very much once again for watching this video with me. Please remember to like, subscribe and hit the bell so you know when my next video will be coming up. And I will see you again very, very soon. Goodbye.